Hey, some of us find it really difficult to kind of put into context why talking about the intersection of race, class, gender, and ability makes sense. A lot of us feel strongly that something is wrong, and I'm about to make my egg and avocado. A lot of us feel strongly that something is wrong and that bias is real, racism is real, sexism is real, classism is real, ableism is real, heterosexism or homophobia is real. But we find it difficult to kind of interpret what might be the foundational thinking philosophy, and find a simple way to kind of explain to people how hierarchical bias works and what its components are. So I'm going to be talking about that today after I have my egg. And that's how you make fried egg avocado with salsa and cheese. So let's get into the hard stuff. That's good. All right, so we kind of have to start with hierarchical bias, right? hierarchy, right? It's a root word inside of hierarchical bias. When you have a hierarchy, you have levels. And something is supreme, right? Something is at the top, and something or someone is at the bottom. So in hierarchical bias, that means that the discrimination is based on something being the supreme, the top, the number one. The people who we're taught through the cultural drinking water deserve the most health, wealth, get the L in that time, and safety. Okay? So we broke down what hierarchical, get the R in there, bias was. A bias based on a supreme body. And in the U.S., that supreme body is, I'm going to give you a taste of my drawing skills. All right. Can you guess who that body is in the U.S.? That body is wearing a suit, right? So that body is white. That body is male. That body is wealthy. That body is cis, most often straight. And that body is able, not disabled, right? All right, so we talked about those items that if you meet that criteria, I'm trying to get away from that light that's on the on here. Okay, that's a little better. If you meet that criteria, bias isn't controlling your everyday life. Let's unpack cis right quickly, because some people, they aren't sure what that means. Cis means that the gender you were born, that you were assigned at birth, is the gender that you also believe you are. That is the gender you accept, right? So not only does it help to be straight, but it also helps to be gender conforming, acting in ways that U.S. culture deems quote unquote normal for men and normal for women. All right. So we know that every president, save one, has been white, even though there's a wonderful book called The 5 Black Presidents. You know, most of them have been quote unquote wealthy, definitely above middle class. Everyone has been male. Everyone has identified as cis and straight. And everyone has been able at the beginning of their presidency. People will bring up Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but he hid his disability. And so did Kennedy. He hid his illness. These are the items that I mentioned. White, that's race. Wealthy, that's class. Male, that's gender. And cis/straight, that is sexuality. They're not the same thing. One is who you go to bed as, and one is who you might want to go to bed with. Even though there are asexual people who don't want to go to bed with anyone. And then able is ability. Right? So if someone feels that people who are white are a bit more valuable, that's where we get racism. And it only becomes an ism when it is bias matched with power. If I just think in my mind that men are a bit more valuable than women, I'm not necessarily part of I don't have the ability to wield a sexist system, to deploy sexism. I can have sexist thoughts and I can, deploy sexist behaviors, but I don't have the ability to pay a woman less than a man. And then there's classism. If you think people who are wealthy are a bit more valuable than those who aren't. And then, of course, we know sexism is when you think men are more valuable than women. Cisgendered, cis, straight. If you feel like people who are straight or cis are better, then you are. The word that we use most often is homophobia. But I kind of prefer heterosexism. All right. And of course, ableism is what's going on with you if you believe people who are disabled are less valuable than people who are able-bodied. Your proximity to this body can determine the amount of health, wealth, and safety that you enjoy. And there's someone in each category who's a huge exception. Someone's, right? We think about Oprah Winfrey, who is both black and woman, but her wealth kind of blasts through this, right? We think about Caitlyn Jenner, who is not cis or straight, but her wealth and fame kind of blast through this. We think about the dearly departed Stephen Hawking, who was profoundly disabled, but his intellect, notoriety, kind of blasted through that. Do they prove that none of this is true? I would submit that they are the exception that proves the rule. What does all of this mean? What does this matrix of race, class, gender, and ability mean? It means that you can take this information and then you can use it to better translate to people why you believe that we need to have an intersectional conversation. Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, who coined the term intersectionality, charges us with asking ourselves, if you see the racism, do you also see the heterosexism? If you see the sexism, do you also see the racism? I've enjoyed talking with you and drawing with you. My name is Treasure Shields Redmond. Comment below. Let me know where the gaps were, what you'd add, questions, comments, concerns, connections. I'd love to talk with you. And if you want to support me, then you can go to femininepronoun.com, whoraised.youpodcast.com, or blackskilletfunders.tumblr.com. And just in case you're a busy parent of a college-bound teen who wants to secure top-tier education without massive debt, you can go to gettheacceptanceletter.online. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.